afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, former Duterte spokesperson Harry Roque urged by his former colleague Salvador Panelo to come home and face the allegations against him. U.S. President Donald Trump struggles to convince fellow Republican lawmakers to pass his sweeping tax cut bill. Two more Filipino actors are joining the cast of the live-action series Avatar: The Last Airbender. And a look at the latest trailer for Jurassic World: Rebirth. Former Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo urges former Duterte spokesperson Harry Roque to come home and face the allegations against him. On Billionaire News channels At the Forefront, Panelo said Roque's continued stay in the Netherlands might appear as an indication of guilt. Panelo also doesn't believe that his former colleague is a victim of political persecution.
Kung nakademanda ka rito, harapin mo. Kasi rightly or wrongly, tama man o mali, pag hindi ka umuwi at nagtatago ka doon sa ibang bansa, ang perception ng tao, guilty ka. Yun ang magiging problema niya. Yung dahilan mo na kaya hindi ka umuwi dahil persecute ka, kaya ka nag-file sa Netherlands, bakit ka pinipersecute? Anong reason? Sabi niya, because I'm critical of the administration. Excuse me, mas critical pa ako sa iyo. At mas marami pa siguro mas critical sa akin. Pero hindi naman kami pinipersecute, nor dinidemanda kami. Kasi siguro, there is nothing that they can go against us legally. Kaya hindi kami dinidemanda. Ikaw siguro may nakita sa iyo na maling ginawa mo. Tanda mo, probable cause lang ang pwedeng kunin ng mga gusto magdemanda sa iyo para idemanda ka. As a lawyer, you should know that if you're accused of any crime, the burden of proof lies on the one who accuses you, which is the government. So, bakit ka matatakot? You don't even have to prove that you are guilty or innocent. Presume innocent ka na nga. Kaya bumalik ka rito.
Roque now faces an arrest warrant for charges of qualified human trafficking in connection with his alleged involvement in a pogo in Porac, Pampanga. The Justice Department has said it's already coordinating with Interpol for a red notice against Roque. Attorney Panelo also says President Bongbong Marcos should bring back detained former President Rodrigo Duterte first before reconciling with the Duterte family. Marcos extended an olive branch to the Dutertes earlier this week after a bitter falling out with Vice President Sara Duterte. Panelo says as early as April, a mutual friend already asked him for a way to reconcile the unit team. He suggested that Marcos retrieve Duterte from the International Criminal Court.
Ang sabi niya, worried nga ako, pwede pa nating i-reconcile ang dalawa. Sabi ko, pwede yan. Alam mo, hindi mahirap gawin yan. Kasi si Presidente Marcos Jr., ang posisyon niya, walang jurisdiction. He can use that. Walang jurisdiction, magiging consistent siya. Sabihin niya lang na the people down, yung mga bata niya, nagkamali. At iba rin ang advice sa kanya. Kaya akala niya totoo. Now he realizes na mali. Kaya kailangan ibalik dito si Presidente Marcos. Pag ginawa niya yan, kakaroon tayo ng reconciliation.
Panelo also doubts that the Senate will find Vice President Sara Duterte guilty in her impeachment trial.
Regardless of the outcome of the elections, impeachment will never flourish as against Inday Sara. Dapat yung una ang nirepair mo sa Senado, ang nirepair mo yung pang-apat. So may problema ka na doon. Pangalawa, as I've said, unlike the Senate, the House of Reps is not a continuing body. Baka magka-problema ka na naman doon. Na iba ng Kongreso ito. Kaya dapat hindi na po pwede. Kaya nga, alam mo, my son, Paulo, nagbigay ng suggestion kay BP Sara na lahat ng mga abogado ni BP Sara was in agreement. Sabi niya, ba't di na lang tayo mag-truce? Truce in the sense na yung mga senador, they can decide among themselves to dismiss the complaint. They will not risk their political careers in 2028 kasi libing dalawa sa kanila ang magre-re-election. They will not vote on the basis of what they call loyalty to the administration. Kasi nakita na nila ang resulta.
A political analyst doesn't see a Uniteam 2.0 happening. On Billionaire News Channel's agenda, Antonio Contreras said President Marcos and Vice President Sara could probably just stay civil.
Para mag-shota yan nagkahiwalay, pero kailangan maging civil na kayo sa isa't isa. Yan naman siguro yan.
Okay.
Hindi naman magkabalikan, kundi mag-usap. Parang naghiwalay na mag-asawa, mag-usap tayo na mag-away at para sa mga anak na lang natin.
Contreras also shared what he believes triggered the president's call for a reconciliation.
Actually, ano naman siya in character naman Alam naman natin ng Pangulo, di ba, alam natin na hindi siya masyadong confrontational sa mga bagay-bagay. Napakahaba nga ng PC niya, bilang natin siya makitang magalit. So this is, I think, the result of the elections, particularly the poor performance of Alianza in the Senate, have triggered that. So the increasing divisiveness of the presence of the impeachment complaint and the trial that will happen at the Senate would also be one of those. Although I would like to, emphasize na hindi naman dapat natin binabasa ng todo na ito ay parang na may epekto to sa impeachment. Pagkat ang impeachment, ibang proseso. And even the President even said it in his statement that the impeachment process is separate.
After the May 12 midterm polls, preparations are now underway for the parliamentary elections in the Bangsamoro region. Joash Malimban joins us on the line from Manila for the details. Joash, go ahead.
The Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao is set to hold its first parliamentary elections this October. A 5-month preparation period is underway, with the Commission on Elections repeating an order for 7,000 vote counting machines. There are a total of 3,500 precincts across the region, each one to be equipped with one machine and an additional contingency unit, ensuring a 1-to-1 ratio with backups ready. Among the key preparations include the trusted build of the machines and the reprinting of ballots. These ballots will feature photos of candidates, political party logos, and a none of the above option for voters. COMELEC will also begin training teachers who will serve as members of the electoral board, while security will be heightened across BARM to ensure safe and orderly elections. The Commission is also awaiting the promulgation of a law from the Bangsamoro Transition Authority that would address the reallocation of the 7 additional seats following the exclusion of Sulu. Depending on this decision, COMELEC may reopen voter registration to reflect any reapportionment of seats from Sulu. The total budget allotted for the BARM parliamentary election stands at 2.7 million pesos. Mai.
Josh, speaking of elections, any update on the upcoming barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections?
Yes, Mai, the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections are scheduled to take place on December 1 unless, according to COMELEC Chairman Garcia, a law postpones this. Meanwhile, voter registration for the Barangay and SK elections will be reopened from the last week of July until the first week of August. Mai.
Thank you, Joash Malimban, reporting to us from Manila. U.S. President Donald Trump struggles to convince fellow Republican lawmakers to pass his sweeping tax cut bill. In what he calls a meeting of love on Capitol Hill, Trump warned House Republicans not to press for further changes in the measure. He cautioned against plans to make it more difficult to access Medicaid for low-income Americans. Trump also urged them not to pursue further carve-outs for state and local tax payments.
That was a meeting of love. Let me tell you, that was love in that room. There was no shouting. I think it was a meeting of love. There were a couple of things that we talked about specifically where some people felt a little bit one way or the other, not a big deal. And I covered them. It wasn't so much a speech. I covered certain points. And I think I'd be very surprised.
President Trump has tapped a Space Force general to lead America's $175 billion missile defense project. Trump says General Michael Gutlein will be on top of the ambitious program dubbed Golden Dome, aimed at blocking threats from China and Russia. Under Golden Dome, a network of satellites will detect, track, and intercept incoming missiles. But it is expected to take years before it's completed.
In the campaign, I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of foreign missile attack. And that's what we're doing. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we have officially selected an architecture for this state-of-the-art system that will deploy next-generation technologies across the land, sea, and space, including space-based sensors and interceptors. And Canada has called us, and they want to be a part of it. So we'll be talking to them. They want to have protection also. So as usual, we help Canada do the best we can. Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space. And we will have the best system ever built. As you know, we helped Israel with theirs, and it was very successful. And now we have technology that's even far advanced from that.
Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla visit Canada House to mark the 100th anniversary of the embassy in London. The royal couple met with officials and toured the building. Charles is set to attend Canada's state opening of Parliament on May 27, the first British monarch who will do so since 1977. Charles is also Canada's head of state. On to the sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs in New York. It was the hip-hop mogul's former personal assistant testifying, and he says he once saw Combs take an ecstasy pill shaped like President Barack Obama's face. David James worked for Combs from 2007 to 2009. He told jurors that Combs frequently used drugs, opiates during the day, and ecstasy at night. He also said he sometimes picked up drugs for Combs and his friends and often brought narcotics and other personal items like lubricant and condoms to the rapper's hotel rooms. The 55-year-old Combs is accused of forcing women to take part in days-long drug-fueled sexual performances known as freak-offs. He has pleaded not guilty. After the break, stay with us. Sports news now. The University of Santo Tomas dominating the UAAP yet again. For the 8th straight season, the España-based squad was crowned the league's general champion. This marks the Growling Tigers' 48th title, the most in UAAP history. During Tuesday's closing ceremony, Season 87 hosts UP also turned over the hosting duties to UST. The logo for Season 88 was then unveiled with the theme Strength in Motion, Hope in Action. UST says this embodies the deeper meaning of competition, which is not solely to achieve victory, but to inspire transformation. Over now to Times Square, New York, where the dazzling FIFA Club World Cup and the NBA championship trophies are on display. Among those who expressed delight at the scene, FIFA legend and former U.S. men's national soccer team captain Carlos Bocanegra. This year's FIFA Club World Cup kicks off June 15 in New York and New Jersey, with 32 teams competing for the title. The NBA Finals, meantime, will start on June 5.
Brings back some nice memories from the playing days. I wish I could still run around out there and not have a day job. That's way more fun. But it's great. And I think one of the cool parts about having the trophy here, or just when these events come in, it brings people together from all around the world, and so it becomes a really cool cultural experience.
In entertainment, Netflix announces new cast members of its live-action version of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Among them, Filipino actress and Golden Globe nominee Dolly De Leon. She will play both Lo and Lee, Azula's twin advisors. Also now part of the series, film actor John Briones, who will star as the Fire Nation sword master Piandao. The two will join Filipino-Canadian actor Gordon Cormier, who plays Aang in the show. No release date yet for season 2, but reports say it is expected around early next year. We also got a first glimpse of the highly anticipated sequel to the Oscar-winning animated film Zootopia. The teaser reunites rookie cops Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde and hints a new team-up with a mysterious pit viper. Disney says the film will see Judy and Nick tackling another case while their growing partnership is tested like never before. Zootopia 2 arrives in theaters in November. From one sneak peek to another, the final trailer for the 7th film in the Jurassic Park franchise has arrived. The movie stars Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali, and is set 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion. Here's a look at Jurassic World Rebirth. A new theme park is opening in Orlando, Florida this week. Universal gave media a tour of its Epic Universe attraction ahead of its official opening on May 22nd. This is the city's first new theme park in more than a quarter century. It doubles the size of the Universal Orlando Resort and creates new themed worlds around some of the most successful films and games in recent years, including Harry Potter, the Super Mario Brothers, and How to Train Your Dragon.
What's really special about Epic Universe is the portals and their ability to transport you to completely different immersive worlds. So in our other parks, you get a similar experience, but you don't transport to those spaces. And here, going through a portal, you completely transport to 1920s Paris or to a Viking village at the Isle of Burke. Completely different spaces. And then when you finish those adventures, you come back to Celestial Park as a place where you can kind of think about that, share your adventures with your friends and your family that you're with before you step off on your next adventure.
In royal news, Britain's Prince and Princess of Wales host the latest garden party at Buckingham Palace. William and Kate mingled with a crowd who included the family of Liz Hatton. She was the teenage photographer who captured the hearts of many and passed away from cancer last year at the age of 17. Kate herself underwent treatment for an unspecified form of cancer. Earlier this year, she's now in remission. And speaking of Princess Kate, she gets a new wax figure at Madame Tussauds in London. The figure was inspired by Kate's outfit during King Charles' second annual diplomatic reception in December of 2023. It is also wearing a replica diamond and pearl tiara, as well as a replica pear-shaped diamond earrings.
It took 12 months and around 20 artists to create every single detail of Catherine. So the hair, the skin colour, the eye colour, and then the costume as well. We had an in-house team working 5 months on replicating the costume because there are so many details that have to come together that we wanted the team to really get involved. So over 10 months, we've got the brand new figure for us today.
The wax figure stands alongside that of Prince William, which also received an outfit change. His figure is now styled in a black tuxedo and a white bow tie, along with replicas of his sash and army medals. And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on the Billionaire News Channel. Good afternoon.